guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are back here in super sunny California because guess what? I have that new crossover SUV from Acura that's gonna leave you electrified. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2024 Acura ZDX. This particular one is an A-Spec. But before we get into this dual motor, two-row luxury crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So Honda and Acura got together with General Motors to work on their first combined effort of an SUV. Now what's interesting is they've already decided to go their separate ways after this came to fruition. So this is going to be a one and done kind of thing for Acura with General Motors to make this ZDX. Now what's interesting is that it sits on the same exact platform as the Lyriq, which the Cadillac Lyriq would be a direct competitor to this vehicle. Now, the interesting thing is you'll have three different ways basically to really set up the motors. Rear wheel drive, single motor, dual motor like we have, or you could go bonkers with the dual motor Type S that brings 500 horsepower. What I want to find out is though, even though this is a combined effort between Acura and General Motors, should you forego the Cadillac experience with the Lyriq and just dive in to this Acura A-Spec of a ZDX? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, the style. Yes, there is a combined effort between the different brands, but definitely you're gonna see that the designers brought the Acura distinct style. So what you're gonna find up front are those chicane daytime running lamps. Love the way it fits within the bodywork. You have your multi-jewel LED beam headlights, and then working your way down, nothing fake. We have actually functional corner air curtains. You can see how they carved out this midsection to help with overall airflow, because remember, air drag is going to cut down on range. And that's one thing that they really wanted to work on here, is with having that set up like that. Now you do have this metallic gray finish, which really separates well from the ruby red that we have, and then a little bit of metallic silver just to give it a distinct front fascia. Now, as we come across the Acura badge, they did a great job with how they made these very artful indentations to give it that precision crafted performance design. We have around the perimeter edge your daytime running lamp, which not only goes from the chicane daytime running lamps, but then comes into the center section here. And then on the lower portion, we do have functionality in this lower grille area. The one zonk I have, that big large area, it's just on that one side, kind of makes the front end look a little goofy. So I am gonna zonk that. I think what they should have done was extended this a little further, or make that indentation over here and put fog lamps in it. Let me know what you think about that style. It's kind of turning me off. But I do have to say, the front of the vehicle, I like the way it looks more over the Lyriq. Now, as we rise up, that signature style, you have that high peak that rises up and then it evaporates as you get towards the windshield. You got the high rises in the hood that give you great visual reference points as you're driving through your favorite twisty roads. And as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So on the A-Spec, we have a 20-inch wheel. Tires are gonna be 265 on the width, 50 series sidewall. Of course, you're gonna have different levels of regen braking. That's gonna help extend the battery life of this thing. And when I say life, I'm talking about range. So what is the range on this vehicle? Because it is dual motor, it has 315 mile range, and you're looking at a little over 400 horsepower from the dual motors. 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds flat. One of the things I want to point out is, of course, we have that beautiful ruby red color, sparkling very nicely in the California sun, but I like the way that they did the gunmetal gray finish around the fender flares. Better than gloss black and way better than flat black. But let me know what you think about the combination. Wheels, definitely Acura-esque. The machined aluminum, the gloss black multi-spoke design, and of course you have the motor up front and you have the motor out back. Now, as we come down the side of the vehicle, you have your A-Spec badge, and then as we drop back, you'll see that they did a nice job with the colors. Along the bottom, you have the bright silver. Not sure if I would have went that bright as silver, but I know why they did it, because it's the same silver off the front of the vehicle. Let me know what you think about that lower portion. You do have color matched on the door handles, and on your side mirrors, they are gloss black, and you do have 360-degree cameras, which are great. Because this is an A-Spec, for some reason we have bright shiny metalwork only on the top. This should all be gloss black on an A-Spec. So that's definitely a zonk, but we do have our gloss black roof rails, panoramic sunroof, and then as we come towards the rear, you can see that unique Acura style coming into the rear fender. And then of course, the rear glass, also very nicely done to give it a unique style to separate it from, like I said, the Prologue and also the other General Motors products. Now on the back end of the business, we do have our LED lighting, that chicane style. Dual motor gives us all-wheel drive. And then if you're wondering what type of battery do we do have GM's Ultium battery pack in the belly of this thing. It is liquid cooled, and it's a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack. And within 10 minutes, you could charge on a DC fast charger about 70 miles of range. Overall range is right at 315 miles. On the lower side, love the way they kind of put the edges in here, just like they did up front. There's that silver that wraps around. We come to the back, of course, you have the A-Spec badge. And then working our way down to ground level, they did a good job on the lower rear diffuser. But why don't we pop the hood and really see what the heck is underneath it in this new ZDX. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. No front mounted trunk. So I think that that's a missed opportunity, but if you compare it to the Cadillac Lyriq, the Lyriq doesn't have a front mounted trunk either. But what's nice is on the Acura side of things, they did put this cover here because all you could see is motor and all the wires. So it's nice to have the clean cover, and I do like the way it has the Acura name there. But let's talk a little bit more about what is going on here. You have 490 horsepower from the dual motors. Like I said, 102 kilowatt hour battery pack, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. It could tow 3,500 pounds, and I actually misspoke. It's 81 miles in 10 minutes on a DC fast charger. And what's great is, like I said, you can get this as a single motor as well, which would give you a range of 335 miles. So nice to have that flexibility on how you really want to have your particular EV experience with your Acura. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn it on and see it move. All right guys, we are inside this 2024 Acura ZDX A-Spec. I know you're saying to yourself, well Joe, lay it on me. I want a new SUV. I want some driving ability, some good driving ability, good driving characteristics, but I also want some luxurious touches. And I'm thinking about the Lyriq, but how much is this one? So this being an A-Spec dual motor, I hope you're sitting down, MSRP around $69,000. Let's see what Acura is bringing for the money to the door panels. So this is where you're going to see a little bit more of the GM influence when it comes to certain switchgear and materials. It is soft touch up top, which is nice. You have that metal aluminum style finish, which is great. And then you're going to get the orchid white interior, nice stitch work, soft material on the armrest. We have the 18 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. And then you have enough room in that door pocket for 2 double doubles from in and out, and then of course a strawberry shake to wash it down. Going from the door panel to the dash, I do like the way this is not gloss black, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints, but yet it looks very tasteful. The stitching is great, soft touch material. Come on in, that's going to be your 11.3-inch infotainment system. Let's be honest, this is straight from the General Motors parts bin. This is not an Acura piece, but it is full touchscreen capability. You got a real volume knob. When you do go into your apps, it does have all the Acura apps, which are nice. You could pull up your charging, set up your schedule, when the next charge is, and then you could even get into vehicle status, and that's when it's going to allow you to see how much energy we have, the energy usage, the efficiency, all those different goodies. Let me throw it into reverse. There's our backup camera, good resolution. I definitely got to give them that. And you'll notice across the top, this is where you could turn your lights on and off, and also one pedal braking operation. Put it back in the park, and that's where we started. Technically, we started right there. You do have a power on button, easy to get to. Dual climate control. This is all General Motors. Let me know how you feel about that. 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats. I'm going to keep them ventilated. It's a hot day. You do have a 12 volt, maybe get a radar detector, 2 USB-Cs. The problem is this is not wireless charging. This is just a place to put 8 Twinkies, which is good, but it would be nice if this was dual wireless chargers. I like the way they brought the material, that orchid white. Down below, you got enough room for your Gucci watch, maybe a big bag of California raisins, or some Raisin Bran, a box of Raisin Bran, 2 scoops of California raisins. You got 2 cup holders. Acura on the key fob, but this key fob is actually General Motors, and you do have remote start, or I should say remote turn on. This is your wireless charger. You just drop it in the hole. Soft material. Look how nice and white that is. Very crisp. Open that up. You have enough room in there. You could easily put 2 Entenmann's bun cakes. I remember my grandmother used to love Entenmann's bun cakes and Entenmann's coffee cakes. I would bring over one for her when she would have her morning coffee, and her and I would just talk about all the great memories, and I do miss my grandmother. I miss you, Grandma. Seats, soft material, the stitching, the perfectly Alcantara material. You do have electric assist for the passenger, electric assist for the driver, and then we have that power shade with our panoramic sunroof. Nice, easy to operate. Coming over here to the business end, I want to show you behind the wheel in this Acura. All right, guys, here we are behind the wheel. Please excuse the ding-dong noise. It's because it's an EV and we have it on. It's to let you know that it is on, so you don't just walk away from the car. Like the A-Spec aluminum sill plate. Pedal box is decent. You have a nice aluminum brake pedal, throttle. That dead pedal is sad. It's almost pathetic. So I would like a nice aluminum dead pedal, so that is a zonk. You do have your seat controls though, easy to get to. The comfort of the seats are on another level. Really, really fantastic, and do not feel like a General Motors seat. Steering wheel, it is technically General Motors, but it does have the A-Spec badge, the flat black on the switchgear. It is a heated steering wheel. You do have that one paddle where you could activate the brakes, which is kind of cool when you're going downhill. And then you have an 11-inch digital gauge cluster. Watch this, look at all the, bring up your Google Maps, bring up your lane keep assist, and then you come back to your main screen. Obviously, you have your column shifter for your direct drive transmission, and there is no HUD in here, which is a big zonk. But I'm gonna have Steven kind of come back in and show you the infotainment system. I wanna show you the modes. So you have your different modes here: sport, snow, normal, individual. That's your individual preferences. We're gonna keep it in sport for our dual motor setup. So that is a very nice touch to have that. And there's plenty of room in here because it is an EV. But why don't we get into the back seat and see what your passengers are gonna think about this ZDX. All right, guys, back seat time. And one thing I wanna show you is how flat the floor is. That's one of the benefits of an EV, is you get that extra leg room for your passengers. You do have pockets. This is where you could put a couple magazines. Maybe you read EV Today or I Love EVs. You could have those magazines back here. This is interesting. I like the way there's AC vents, but what in the hell? Now the good news is you could put 4 Twinkies in here, but I'd rather have AC controls. So I could adjust the AC for the back seat. You do have 2 USB-Cs. I'm sitting here, feels good, soft touch material, the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Looks like a marshmallow and it's soft like a marshmallow. 2 cup holders for some hot cocoa. And then, unfortunately, the seats do not, they don't really recline. Let me see here. No, they don't recline. So no sliding, no reclining. Let's go ahead and get into the cargo area though and see how much room we have for all your stuff in the ZDX. All right, guys, cargo area time. You're gonna hit the button right there in the rear. I love the way they design where the Acura badge is. You're gonna be greeted to a pretty generous amount of room. It's 28.7 cubic feet of space. Of course, the seats do the 60-40 split, which is going to give you 63 cubic feet of space. Let's talk about some of the touches. You have the buttons here to drop the rear seats. You also have a 12 volt, which is nice, LED lighting. And then the good news is, look at what we have underneath. Now, normally you would obviously put all your charging accessories here, but you still have plenty of room for the snacks on those trips. And then, like I said, to put the seats down, you're just gonna push up top and then fold the seats down very easy. It's a 60-40 split, but you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. This is our first time together. Let's get behind the wheel of the ZDX and go on throttle. All right, guys, we are inside this 2024 ZDX A-Spec. Right away, the way everything is laid out really makes sense. I'm gonna slow down a little bit here. We're gonna go on throttle with the twin motor setup in this thing. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. So, obviously, you're getting that instant torque. And what's nice is that you do get some sound through the speakers, but it's nothing too obnoxious. The different modes, like we pointed out, and that instant torque is what really surprises many people who have never driven an EV before. And with this being Acura's first, they did a good job with making the interior different from the Honda Prologue. And of course, we have the Bang & Olufsen sound system in here, getting to that infotainment system well within reach. The large digital gauge cluster is easy to read, and these seats are just superb, much better than anything in the Chevy Blazer EV, which, remember, technically is the same platform since they worked together with the two. But of course, you have unique tuning that's been given to the steering, to the suspension in the ZDX A-Spec, and the Orchid interior, nice and bright, plus very comfortable. We have our 3 stages of heated seats, 3 stages of ventilated seats. We're gonna make a U-turn here, and then we're gonna go on throttle again with the twin motor setup. Are you ready? Because I'm definitely ready. On throttle, here we go. So very, very unique sound that's being created inside the MDX A-Spec, but it allows you to have that unique personality of what an Acura precision crafted performance vehicle is all about. Even in sport mode, the suspension doesn't beat you up. You have good feedback through the wheel, and I'm glad that the Acura engineers had the freedom to work through all of the driving components of this vehicle. The whole point of being behind the wheel, to separate it as much as it could from a Cadillac Lyriq. But great sound deadening material. It's the seats that I'm sold on. They're just so comfortable, and it feels like you're really just wrapped in this wonderful environment. You know, the thing that I feel is good about this vehicle is that at least it showcases what the design team with Acura can bring to the exterior, and of course some of the driving characteristics that they could tune within the ECU to give you a traditional Acura driving experience. It's just some of the other things just don't make sense in here because it's not 100% Acura. I do like the way there is an electric tilting and telescoping steering wheel, so you could adjust it very easily on the fly, and the screens are just fantabulous. I mean, they're really, really very well done, but you definitely have plenty of power. I mean, you need to get around somebody, easy peasy, not a problem to handle that power, because we do have the dual motor. And if you want a little bit more range, you can have that covered as well. It's really what is your desire. Now, to turn on the one pedal operation, I just turn it on, and then you could actually set the level. I like to go normal. High is a little too much, and as you can see, we're sitting at this light, and I'm not even touching the pedals. Yet we're held in place. So nice that they have the one pedal operation. Works really well when you're in a super high traffic situation. All right, guys, one more time for me, one more time for you. You ready? On throttle, here we go. And then watch, I'm gonna use the pedal along with I'm actually gonna turn off the one pedal operation, and now I'm using the pedal on the steering wheel to slow down. That to me, I don't know, that's just really nice, because if you ever need to scrub some speed because you're going downhill, you just tap the pedal and it just takes off the right amount of speed. But like I said, interesting to see this cooperation between the two brands, and interesting to see how Acura was able to separate themselves from the Cadillac Lyriq and the Chevy Blazer EV. All right, guys, been another great day in so many ways. Nice to finally get behind the wheel of the Acura ZDX. Stay tuned, because we will be bringing you the Type S as well. But here is the big question. If it was your money, are you gonna go with the new ZDX A-Spec with the dual motors, or are you gonna take your motoring money over to General Motors with Cadillac and the mighty Lyriq? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. We need to give it up to Stephen Flood. You know, I don't say this enough. He puts up with a lot of stuff, and you know what? He never flinches. So thank you, Stephen, for being solid like a piece of titanium. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.